Gotta watch everybody, it get tricky out here. Look both ways, it get busy out here. Better check the weather, it get sticky out here. It's heated out here, shit be on fire. Yeah, shit be on fire.
Welcome, I'm CeCe.
And I'm Renee.
And we're Puff and Parlay. As mothers and cannabis advocates, it's really our mission to open up the green door for others to come in behind us. I think that's the theme for today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we're still here having this amazing conversation. So once again, prepare to be enlightened by the extraordinary, trailblazing author, veteran, and cannabis advocate who has left an undeniable mark on the industry as the OG canna mom of one of the most famous stoners on the planet, Wiz Khalifa. And here's the one and only PEACHIE WIMBUSH-POLK.
Welcome back.
I'm joking. Coming back the way I like.
The only way.
If someone judged your parenting based only on the headlines, what would you want them to understand?
I don't give a fuck.
Can I get a cheers?
What?
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, that was definitely
Did what?
when I was going over these questions.
Oh my God.
I literally heard you in my head like that.
Who? Judge?
That part.
The finger. Next question.
Yeah. Isn't life just so much better?
Yeah, I
Don't give a fuck.
would not, like my great grandmother taught me, I would not even dignify that with an answer. She was such a
just
proper,
a little bit.
she was such a proper, genteel little lady. You know what I do wonder? I do wonder how Medea looks down at me smoking all the weed that I do.
So she didn't know.
She didn't know. No, she didn't know. No. She may have knew because, Medea was quite magical. She was quite a magical woman. So she may have known. Like she taught me everything mythical and magical that I knew. She put the first crystal in my hand. She put the first
put
the first incense in my hand. She taught me about astrology and just and like everything, like she would put books by Black women in my hand, so I would have all kind of examples of how to be like Maya Angelou and
What a blessing.
oh my goodness, more than my mom, that woman is the reason for that I am everything that I am. All the good stuff that I am is because Medea really, she told me for as long as I can remember that I could do anything and I could have anything. Period.
And look
there wasn't. She didn't qualify it by if you do blah 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 or
And
blah
then
blah
you
blah blah
have
blah
that-
blah
That
blah blah.
part.
She didn't qualify it. She didn't qualify. She didn't put any limit on it.
Yes.
I never looked at it like that.
Yes. Because when you say if you if you follow this path, well, what if I don't? Does that mean I can't have it? Because that is actually the message. We have to be careful with our words.
And what we put out there, because we're limiting
Especially
ourselves.
to the little ones.
And them.
Yeah.
Because we are their
No,
voice.
she never told Peachy I had to do blah, 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 or there was any path. She just said, you could be anything you want and you can have everything that you want. And so because
There's nothing in your way.
So I do wonder, that's one of my things that one day I hope she comes to me in my dream and we just have get an understand. I want to know how she feels about all the weed that I smoke.
Oh, she's proud. She's up there probably smoking, right? The whole room is smoke.
Right.
She's proud of you.
I mean, it's what can anybody not be proud of? I mean, for you to pass down basically what she gave you to your children, because clearly they believed. You know what I mean? So it's such a blessing.
I'm a little girl from the projects. You don't understand. I'm a little girl from the projects. And look, and it, we ain't even done, girl. We are we are just winding up. You hear me?
Yes.
We're just winding up.
I believe
so
that.
that's the thing that's the other thing that I'm very, very excited about.
The unknown, but the known.
Seventh
the
grade,
in between.
Seventh grade Peachy is from the projects.
Now we get to have fun.
Yeah.
Now you get to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to have fun now that it is available to you to have fun at your leisure?
All of the things. Like, I am on the floor to see Beyonce. I am at Essence Festival. I am hosting my own wellness retreats for exclusively for Black women. Pouring into the communities that look like me that are often ignored, because there's so much co-opting of indigenous methods of healing nowadays. And being who I am and Medea's great granddaughter who can have anything and all of that other stuff, I just feel a responsibility to be at third space, like a maroon for Black women. And those type of things. What do I do? Oh, I hang out with my grandbabies. Oh, I'm at what's the place? The Great Wolf Lodge on a Saturday with my grandson and three of his friends, or accompany my son on tour during the summer, which we're getting ready to do in a couple of months with my grandson and a couple of his friends. I mean, it was me and the children. And if there were any other kids on tour, we went, literally the boys would, at the night before, where we going, OG? Because that's my grandmother name. That's what they call me. They would say, where we going next, OG? I'm like, you all have tour books. You can look, but I'll tell them where we're going. Right. They are looking up the closest amusement park, water park, whatever. We're on the bus now. We're in the bunks. Oh my God. We are in the bunks, girl. They are looking it up.
You just gotta show her. She'll take us.
Yeah,
they have your time mapped out once you get to destination.
Here. They are doing recon. They are deciding. They're figuring out where it is from the venue, and then they send it to me and send me how close it is and everything, and then I send it to the tour manager who arranges a ride for us, and I've got money, so I got the tickets and everything, and I take them, and they were so funny, and we had so much fun all summer long. My favorite memory of this is a continuation of the stuff that I get to do now. Is my favorite memory was we were in I think it was West Palm Beach or something, and the tour had to go overseas one more time, and we didn't go. We had a day off at the hotel, and we had went to the Williamsport Gardens or whatever. The kids had fed Laura Keats, and we had watched kangaroo kangaroos, and we had came back and we were at the rooftop at the pool, and they were eating lobster and shit. And they were eating lobster and Wagyu burgers and carrying on, and I had me a bottle of Clico in my little bucket as well, and just the photo of those two little boys and our plates and of me sitting behind just observing this, my God self was looking down on that and was like, hell yeah. This is what it's about.
It is.
This right here, this
it
right here. It
sounds like just love. What you described from beginning to end was continued love.
Oh my goodness. They drag me around everywhere. They like, oh, gee, are you going to take us to such and such and such? I'm like, but I'm tired.
Oh, but they keep you going.
But it's okay. Oh, yeah. I've sat outside the movies because I don't go watch scary movies. I made an exception for Sinners, though. I'm glad I did. I've seen it.
That's a whole
four
different.
times. I know I've seen it 4 times. I keep on saying it.
Okay.
I know.
This is off. We'll talk off after this. Okay.
Well, seeing that you go all over with Wiz and being his mother, have you ever been concerned about the pressures of fame?
Of course. It would be unnatural to say that I'm not concerned about it. But on the other hand, my son knows who he is. He always has. If you've seen his documentary Behind the Cam, it's on YouTube right now. I think he says in the first episode, and it's so profound that he understands this, like that. I get to see my parenting, like walking around and carrying on. Wait till you get to see what you've done and your impact. Just wait. And then when he's doing a song, he'll say something that I absolutely told him. Sometimes he'll attribute it to me, and sometimes he won't. It don't matter.
Where it came from.
We both know.
To see it.
We both know. He's not running away from being influenced heavily by his mom.
Right.
Listen.
That foundation.
That boy is one of 2 that knows my heart from the inside. Only one of 2. So, that connection is never severed.
Right.
It's never severed. So yeah. That.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how that feels inside.
Yeah.
Like,
he knows who he is, so he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be different.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do stunts. I lost my train of thought. That's because I'm high. He doesn't
the authenticity. He's himself, and that's you.
Right. We've always loved him for being, to us, he's low cam. When he went off on this tour the other day, I went to see him off. I think he left Sunday, but I went to see him Saturday night before he went and did a performance. And I said, make sure Wiz Khalifa takes care of Cameron, please.
Aww.
And he said, I will.
That's...
It's funny because when we see him, because he's kind of more towards the generation younger than us, too, the music-wise. Mm-hmm. So when we look at him and we see you, and it's just the cutest thing because we're like, that's Peachie's boy, right? Because that's Peachie's boy. And so that's how we kind of, when we look at him, it's
Listen.
We want him to be good too.
And show and prove. Like the hunger of Puss Rollins back in 94. I want to welcome y'all to Rock with Peachie's youngest boy. He don't run away from being my son.
He is phenomenal.
And that's special. That's a connection.
And it says so much about
he doesn't run away from, there's nothing that I wouldn't do for him. I would give my life for him. And he knows that. And that's why he would do the same for me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't have it any other way now. My eyes are all tearing up.
We're going to take notes.
Yeah, no.
I want that.
No, that relationship is just, it's one of a kind. It's so special. And I think the best part about it is the authentic.
Yeah, he's really, really grounded. I mean, when I used to live in Pennsylvania, when he came home, he would make sure to take the garbage out. You know?
Man.
Yeah, I mean, he took his mom's garbage out. What son does that? You know, we're real
grounded.
normal. We're
He's
real
very
normal, very grounded. We're
grounded.
we're really, really normal. We live a very normal existence as much
We
as
didn't
possible.
think to bring tissues down.
I
We didn't
know.
know we was going to go there.
Right. Oh, y'all got me talking about my baby. That's my
You
favorite.
heard the first.
That's my
heard the
favorite
second.
subject.
I'm going to pass. I'll let you guys take care of those tears.
That's my favorite subject.
I mean, you did that.
No, I mean, you know, and I am so glad that through him, I could sit here and share some stuff with you guys, because like I said, I spoke one year at Blunt Talks. What year was that? I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. But wait a minute, it was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, it was because it was in the fall, and then I came back in February. It was 2019, so it was the fall of 2019. I spoke at Blunt Talks, and it was the week that the Weed Museum was closing. That exhibit was closing here,
Okay.
so they saved me a pass, and you know they were like, and if you, it was at the Weed Museum. They were like, and if you would like a tour, I'm like. Of course I would love a tour. Well, girl, I got to the tour. Why was I giving the tour by the time it was all said that? I was telling the young tour guy, I said, yeah, and Tricky Dick right here, you know, by the time we got to Nixon.
You were giving the tour?
You were giving the truth? You were giving the truth, you
That's
mean?
how long I've been aware of politics.
giving the truth.
From behind Medea's back. She would be watching the news, and you know he would be like, "I'm not a crook." You know when he you know went off into Wonderland without being impeached, but was gonna get it.
Right.
But yeah. So my politics were informed very, very early. So it's just no wonder. It is just no wonder that me and the plant found each other.
It was necessary.
Because I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing.
Yes.
I have such a good memory of my first Rick James concert. And so anytime somebody says...
Girl, here I go back. This is where I start to get into it.
Girl.
Because I know you're about to tell a story.
We went to see... So first of all, my middle sister is a goody two-shoe. Okay, I'm not going to use her name. I'm going to protect her privacy.
Well, clearly, it was the middle.
Yeah,
Kind of.
yeah.
All right.
Well, she has no social media presence.
Okay.
So saying that don't mean nothing. You still ain't gonna find her. She has zero social media presence.
Okay.
But the people that know. But I'm not gonna use her name. But my middle sister, she's a goody friggin' two-shoe from the word go. Like, she is a L7. She is square as hell. She gonna tell. She is the police. All of that.
We all need one in the family.
But for the Rick
Keeps
James,
us alive.
but for the Rick James, yes.
They keep us alive.
Yes. They do keep us from going off the deep end and doing some dangerous stuff. So I had to co-opt her into the plan of the buying of the nickel bags. And we're talking 4-finger Manila nickel bags. Okay. So there was a lot of joints in a nickel bag, okay, back in the day. And then but then we had got, so she was like, yeah, okay, I'm in. I got 5 on it. The way me and my girls could have made I got 5 on it. No, I'm so offended that those young fucks made that song and made a killing off of it, because
that was mine.
How in the hell? Because we really was out here in these streets, in these prohibition streets in the 70s, in 1976.
They were hearing their parents they probably took it.
I'm so mad because I was their parents' age. Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, I got Tickles the. Oh, I said her name. I got her to go. What's done is done. I got her to go. I got her to get a nickel bag too. So we both had 2 nickel bags. We had all this weed. Wow. And this is when Zigzags was first flavor. So we got some strawberry Zigzags. We had about 25 joints. And we went to see Rick James. He was up there in slizzard pants. and we were too young to be
up in there.
To be up in there in the first place because his chest was bare. He had the braids. He had 2 big ass joints on the side of the stage, just like my son does now. You ever go to his show?
Yes.
2 big ass joints of pillars. Rick James used to do that shit back in the day. I don't know if he's watched any footage and seen that Rick James. That's
You're
so
like,
crazy.
son, have you been with me this whole time?
This whole time. Well, he was in my ovaries.
Oh,
you
You're
see?
born with your
He was
with your
the-
born
and
with your eggs.
so
Yeah, he was at
he's
the
been there.
He was
He's
at the
been
Rick
there.
James concert.
He could have took it.
Listen,
Wow.
my sister was so blown out of her mind. She walked in the house. She was like a zombie. She went straight. Now I was outside still talking to a boy and stuff. I didn't want the day. I didn't want the night to end. So I was outside in the hallway still talking to a boy. And the reason I got busted is because Tickles went in there like a zombie. And then she went and fell out on the bed, glasses on, clothes on, everything on. She just dead. So, the parentals was like, the hell went on here?
What happened?
Now, if it was you,
Knowing that it was me,
it'd have been
we used to come home every day and eat Oreos and.
So, what did you
butterpecan
guys
ice cream.
tell your parents?
Nothing. She was high. They knew. We were busted.
She gave it away.
Yeah, she gave it away. She's the police, didn't I say? She's the police.
You're right. You're
I
right.
All the way busted. That night it was over. It was done. They knew. It was no sense of pretending.
Surprise.
No sense of pretending. Now you know. You can't unknow.
Yeah.
You can't unknow. My mom couldn't unknow.
True.
So,
You cannot.
she got used to red eyes. As long as my schoolwork was done.
See? Productive stoner.
Listen, I said a speech at my high school graduation, okay? Wasn't that high.
Cheers.
Very much so.
I do need to.
Yeah, I spoke at my high school graduation.
Oh my goodness.
How did that go?
It was
Were
wild.
you high?
It was wild. Yeah, of course I was. But it just, my public speaking started early. My public speaking started early.
And at that time, you probably didn't realize that's what
was
all
happening.
this was leading to.
No. All the ways, no. A million and one ways, no. But that just goes to show you that everything is divine. And you might not have the answers and you might think you're doing one thing, but the universe has a whole nother thing for you. And it's even better than you can imagine. That's what I want to leave people with.
It's not just a saying. It actually is.
It actually is. Like if you take your hands off of a lot of situations and just let them be what they're going to be.
I just learned that.
Yes.
I just learned that.
Sometimes it's better than, it ends up better than you could even ever imagine. I could never imagine that I would be walking in stores and they would be like Apple stores full of cannabis. I could never imagine that anybody would talk to me. This little girl, all I did was not believe the lies. I did abstain those 8 years because I didn't want to get kicked out.
You are the dream.
I didn't
You are
want to
our
get
dream.
kicked out of no more shit because of weed.
Listen, you
Because
do
I got
have-
kicked out of some shit because of weed coming up, and like
Yeah.
in middle
I'm
school,
sure.
in middle school and in high school, I did get kicked out of some shit. Like my mother had got called to the office, for us a time or 5 and shit. So I just didn't want to get kicked out of anything else because of my cannabis use, and that's why I abstained. I admitted it though. Wait a minute. I admitted it though when I went in. And I didn't know that every year they was going to call my ass back in and be like, yeah, so about that weed you was experimenting with. The reason I admitted it is because my recruiter came and got me, literally pulled. I was like this. Like, come on, go, you need to go take your physical. Okay, well, I'm going to tell them. They're going to take my blood, and I'm going to tell them I've experimented with cannabis because there's no getting around it.
Right.
There's no getting around it. So I'm going to admit its use. But now I work with weapons. I work with nuclear and non-nuclear weapons in this program called the PRP, Personal Reliability Program. And only certain people are under PRP. Like we got a whole nother physician. Mm-hmm. And so you have to have a physical every year to make sure you ain't crazy and gonna run away with a nuke. And so every year they would pull me in and be like, yeah, about that weed you like so much. But it's so...
not again.
That went on for 8 years.
I didn't know this was going to haunt me.
But funny enough, and I was always, I could always expect a random drug test, but I never even got to. The one time I got tested, the whole time I was in the military, I was pregnant with Cameron. He was born at 4/16, by the way.
4/16.
No, 4/14.
4/14.
Yeah, 4/14. Yeah.
Wow,
I had 6 minutes to roll up. Cause I had to look. I think he was born before 4/20.
Oh my God.
Right on time.
Right on time.
Right, pre-game.
Yeah, he was pre-game. Yeah. One year when we were doing a birthday, I was 28 facts for his 28th birthday, and they were asking for 28 facts. I was like, he was born right before 4/20. I looked at his birth certificate. He sure was. Isn't that?
Oh my God.
Isn't that nuts?
That is.
Maktub.
That's our little. Have you ever read The Alchemist?
Yes.
Maktub. Man, yeah, that needed a moment of silence. It really did.
Because you can feel it.
Yeah, that needed to be revered.
Okay.
Another sign that everything is as it should be.
And that's why you need to trust everything.
And release and trust, which is the hardest thing for all of us, at some point until you go through
You're necessary. You're necessary to dispel the lies, to dispel the stigmas. I mean, like, you are evidence that moms can, they can be moms, they can be fun, they can be good girlfriends, they can be, they can be kick-ass entrepreneurs, like real bosses, and still do all of the things because, like Medea said, you could do anything and you can have anything that you want.
Oh my God.
Period.
That's it.
Period. We thank you.
Yes.
So much.
But
like
before,
this.
Yeah, this is like
This conversation
is going to
was
go
so
on repeat.
necessary.
For us, repeat.
For everybody.
I know we didn't get to all your questions, but we,
No, but
are we gonna have you back? Eventually.
we gonna figure out something.
I love y'all. So
We gonna figure out something.
Figure out something.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is have you pick a different hemper piece over there. What's the second one that calls your name?
The robot. I already know because I'm a science nerd.
There you go.
Along with the robot, if someone offered you the opportunity to go to space, would you go?
No, because we don't need the carbon footprint of nobody going to space for funsies and shit
That part.
right now.
Figure out stuff here.
Yeah, they're trying to, our government, the Republicans in our government are trying to rip trillions of dollars of safety net benefits away from people who have earned it. Social Security isn't an entitlement. You pay into it and your fragging paycheck. Look at all the shit that they take out at the bottom. It says where they take out for Social Security. So this is people's money, and they want to take food out of babies' mouths. They want women, women's carcasses, black women's carcasses, to gestate a baby that probably is not going to live. And if that baby does live, what life? You were grown you were gestated in a dead woman's carcass that was kept chemically, like that kind of. We need to deal with those things. Need addressing
Bigger issues
before anybody need to be going to space.
I agree.
Yeah,
Wholeheartedly.
that's just my opinion.
Yeah. And that's a very valid opinion.
Yeah. Period. That's
America's
another
got a
period.
problem, as in
A
the
big one.
and as in the words of Beyonce.
Oh, Ben.
Yeah, America's got a problem.
Yeah.
A big one.
But we got to thank, obviously Khalifa Kush
Yes.
for really
goodies today.
Like,
Come on now.
we already
we couldn't bring anything else.
we already knew
to set. Like
it
at all.
had to be, and it's the best, and it provided
cakes.
our vibes today. It started it off right, and we just like melted into each other, and I really feel like people would understand that cannabis can help bind.
Look at how our communities would have never intersect naturally.
No.
Never.
I would never. I wouldn't know you guys but for pot.
No. I think that our circle is
It's
like,
aligned. It's
a beautiful vibe.
But that's how it is. That that my circle intersects so many other circles just because of pot. I get to know cool mamas. Like you
we
are.
get to know a cool mama for sure, an OG.
Not to discount, people that are not mamas,
Right.
but
Absolutely.
Right.
especially
Yes.
I have a special fondness for mamas.
Yes.
Because I'm one.
Yes. And you
And
led the way.
It's important to me,
We know
Being
what
a
we go
mama-
through.
Being a mom is very important to me. It's it's one of my favorite jobs.
Isn't it?
Yes.
It is just every day. I don't think, no matter how old they get, you still stare at them like that's.
And you
It
still
could be
look at them.
thankless. It could be thankless at times, but I mean that's when you know that that it is divine, because even when it's thankless, you still do it.
Yes.
So the triumphs are that much sweeter.
It is.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
no explaining it.
Yeah, I'm a very, 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 very lucky lady.
You are.
Yes, you are.
My goodness.
Thanks to cannabis.
I know. And
Thanks
thanks
to cannabis for aligning this, and
Cannabis.
thanks to Hemper too for
Thank you, Hemper.
providing these beautiful
these
glass
goodies.
Oh,
pieces.
so much fun.
make sure you
Yes.
guys check out the subscriptions.
You can also do gift boxes. Like, even if, you're looking for that special piece for that special person in your life, go to Hemper.com. Everything
I do know
together.
a stoner for every month.
There's
year.
multiple pages.
There you
If you know a
go.
stoner, if you know a stoner for every month of the year, there's your gift.
It's
already
the perfect
done.
gift, to be honest.
it
it really
is.
is. And you know, it's a special treat when you get that box, right?
Yeah.
And don't forget, you also can use Puff and Parlay for 10% off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget the discount code, y'all.
Man.
Well, we hope you all enjoyed today's conversation and you got a healthy dose of humor and insight of how cannabis can be a tool to enrich your everyday life. Make sure to follow and subscribe on all our social media platforms. You can also find us at puffandparlay.com. Please like, share, and comment.
And thank you, Peachy Wimbush-Polk, for blessing us, because this really has been a
It was a
blessing.
blessing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm really grateful.
Thank you.
Until next time, we will see you in the clouds.
Gotta watch everybody, it get tricky out here. Look both ways, it get busy out here. Better check the weather, it get sticky out here. It's heated out here, shit be on fire.